Clips.
Clips.
Not just the clips in my hair, guys. We have a clips channel. Watch our clips.
We have a clips channel.
You can
know?
see us. You can watch our entire show.
No, but you know what you really should do is like if you have a friend and you're like, I wish they listened to Trash Tuesday so we could talk about it, send them the clip. Get them in with the clip.
They're going to love it. And by the way, the clips channel is great. You want to keep watching the full thing, but you want to go back. You want to remember, what were the highlights?
Like our channel, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends so that they can also get sucked into the Trash Tuesday world that is your home.
Join the dumpster.
Hi, slugs. Today's episode is so good. I can't wait for you to listen to all the mean things Annie says to me and to Lisa Lampanelli. You guys come see me on the road. I'm really excited. These shows are coming up so soon. I'm coming to Portland, New York City, and San Francisco. And the shows are selling out. Get your tickets now. And if you love this outfit, sleepoverbyesther.com. I can't take it off my body.
I was mean to Esther and to the Queen of Mean. They call me the Princess of Mean. I will be on the road again. I love it. I never want to leave. I will be at Comedy Works in Denver, October 14th through 16th. I'll be in San Antonio, Texas at Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club, October 22nd through 23rd. Houston, Texas at Skankfest. It's sold out. House of Comedy in Plano, Texas, November 11th through 14th. And I'll be doing the Irvine Improv December 2nd and a lot more. Austin, Texas, December 9th through 11th. Check it all out on AnnieLetterman.com/shows, and you can get my merch there too. Do not buy my merch on any other website except mine. I give them my full name, my screen name, everything to follow me on, and I work the system.
Your AIM.
Yeah, but you want to know what's weird though? Like I give everyone my real name, which is not Lampanelli.
Yeah.
And the only people who know I'm Lisa Lampanelli are nurses giving me like colonoscopies. I only get recognized as a celebrity from some humiliating medical procedure that I have to have. Oh, you're iron deficient? Are you the comedian?
Wow.
So I'm
I think it's your fault for losing weight, bitch.
I do.
You're
so pretty.
You had a physical transformation. They don't remember
it is pretty funny how that literally stopped me from getting recognized. And I loved getting recognized.
Yeah.
I was such an attention whore.
Yeah.
And so when I first did Celebrity Apprentice, I was recognized everywhere because it was a network show. And then after that, I lost all the weight and changed my hair. And it's like, no more.
I forgot.
Here, bitch, deal with non-fame. Enjoy.
Crazy that you did Celebrity Apprentice. Like
we're 1 degree away from Trumpy.
I'm so curious what your perspective, like what? Was
he hot?
No, I said horrifying.
Horrifying?
So disgusting.
Really?
What's the hardest? First of all, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. And
manage his ego? Is that what it was?
No,
or
he was never even really involved.
Really?
It was just the amount of work you had to do on those tasks. And I was like passionate because I wanted to show comics are smart. So it was, all the guys on it were smart, by the way. There was Corolla, Penn Jillette, like two geniuses, George Takei, who's smart, like all these really smart guys. The women were as useful as a tampon at Betty White's house.
Well, he cast it probably.
Fucking ridiculous. So I'm sitting there trying to carry the ball for the women, and I'm working so hard, and I'm not kidding, 20 hours a day.
What? Who? Wait.
6 days a week.
Who were the women there with you?
Oy vey. All right. You got this Debbie Gibson, who was fine.
Yeah.
But she sang all the time. No one wants to hear that.
It's so fucking annoying. Nobody wants that.
Terrible. Then there was this one who was Miss Venezuela.
Okay.
Now, I don't need this Miss Universe energy in the room. It makes me angry because I'm fat at the time. You're very jealous, very beautiful woman. I can't have it.
I know.
You guys are lucky I'm so evolved now that I can be in the room with two hotties. And I'm not talking about these guys. Definitely not.
With this outfit, I don't know what vibes are giving off.
I know. It's almost.
This is a very gender bendery.
It is. And, I
anyway.
wish. I've always wished I was a lesbian because I used to get hit on after shows by the hottest chicks.
Really?
And I was always with a guy. I've been married twice. I like boys. Not anymore, really, because dead from the waist down. Officially, no one
You're
cares.
not borrowing tampons from Betty White, is that
No,
what you're saying?
we share. But I tell you what, man, it's a very weird thing, this whole Apprentice. I'm so glad it's behind me. I stayed on till the final 4. I was on every episode.
I did watch it, but I have to rewatch it.
Were you on the same season as Aubrey O'Day?
Yes, me and her were the team.
Oh my
And here's how dumb. Can I just say?
Funny. She's talking about idiot women, and you're like, I'm her biggest fan.
Well, no, actually, Aubrey was the smarter. She and I were the smart ones. Let me tell you about Aubrey. This is how she really knew how the game worked. I didn't. I came on. This is me. Oh my God, it sounds like so much fun. It's fucking terrible. Anyway, she knows how to game. She knows how to team with people.
She's a hot little scammer.
She was in a band.
Making the band.
Making the band.
She had to make
she's on, and she kept being convinced. She goes, Lisa, me and you are going to be in the top 2. We're going to fight it out in the finale.
Right.
And this is how I'm just smarter than in the ways of the world, possibly.
Right.
So I just said, dude, we are not famous enough to win. We're going to make it to the final 4 because we're the smartest women. But dude, we don't have a hope of winning. All we can do is align ourselves with the 2 most famous people, who are Arsenio Hall and Clay Aiken, which we did.
that is the saddest thing I've ever heard, that those were the most famous people.
Hello.
I will say something, Lisa. I do believe you manifested that. I do believe when you gave yourself the self-limiting belief that you guys couldn't go all the way up.
Yes.
Because the reason Audrey O'Day is so good
Aubrey
at
O'Day.
Aubrey, I don't know her. I'm sorry.
She
know who
was
she
the
is.
most talented dancer I've ever seen in my life on Making the Band.
On one
on
specific
Making
show.
the Band. Yeah.
But she's delusional, and that's how she's made it through reality shows. You are someone who works on merit and tries to be the best you can be.
Yes.
She knows you just fake that shit the way that you dress for the
Actually,
sexuality you want.
She actually, the thing about her was, it's come out in public, so I don't have to keep the secret anymore, but that she was effing Don Jr.
Yes.
And what I love is that she came right out with it, but she was like so in love with him. It was super, super sad. And it was just like, that's not going to work out either.
Sad.
So I was right about a few things.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
You
No, you were
watched
right.
it all go down.
It was insane.
But
He
how
sent
long?
her
So they were together
flowers.
this whole time?
Oh, no. I
No.
think they were just
It's like
for
a
about
fling.
3 months, 4
Oh,
months.
and that came out afterwards.
Well, she
Yeah.
came out when Trump was running for president, I
Right.
think.
That's my girl.
Yeah, which was pretty cool.
Wait,
but
what
Trump was like literally never even involved with the show. Like he would show up to give you the task, then he would come and judge you.
Oh, right.
And by the way, I've told this story, but you guys are going to love it because probably not on air I've ever told it. Okay. Every time he would have a boardroom, he would always compliment all the women in the room. I mean, one at a time.
Right.
So every week. And of course, at the time, I wasn't the great beauty you see before
Right,
you.
yes.
I was a battle axe with like 250 pounds, bad hair extensions, the whole 9. I wasn't his type
Hey,
yet.
watch yourself, bitch.
Well, no, girl.
There's
you're
only
working
one
it.
bad hair extension in this room.
Baby.
So I'm in the room and I figure he's never going to compliment me. So he's always saying stuff like, Teresa, you look beautiful today. He literally said, Aubrey, you get more attractive with every week. Then one week, I swear to God, out of nowhere, he's like, Lisa. And I'm like, oh my God, it's my turn. And he goes, Lisa, doesn't Teresa look beautiful? And I'm like, I am in the room. Like, throw me a bone.
But did you get treated more like a man?
Yes, which I
you got
loved.
more respect.
You know, I
right,
love that
from
shit.
him? Yeah.
Look, I was always like a guy in comedy.
Yeah.
That's why I think I was always very lucky. I came up before there was a ton of women comics.
Yeah.
There was like Joan Rivers, Roseanne, and then I kind of came on this scene.
You were
where
like
there was
a
no one
morphin' of
else.
both.
Yeah, probably. And I was just like, you know what? I kind of entered at the right time. Was a dude on stage.
Yeah.
I had this standard of every 6 seconds a punchline. Like I don't tell story. I mean, now I do, but I wouldn't tell long
Right.
stories. So I think it was, I got pretty lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always the
I
guy.
think you're very
energy.
talented and amazing.
Oh my God, I'm so good.
So you don't have to say
Lisa
all
Lampanelli.
Come on. Wait, I can't believe. So you witnessed
So how did you get successful then? You're like, luck isn't the thing, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Esther's only a girl on stage. That's the only place.
Well, this
Only
is
place you
where
can see this bitch in a skirt is on stage.
It's so true.
Well, that's what's so funny about like the whole thing of how I even you came on my radar was
Yeah.
obviously Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I am so not familiar with any comics. Like I literally felt like when I started comedy, I had never watched stand-up before, just the roasts and things like that in the Dean Martin days before you guys were born. So what happened was then I stopped comedy, I retire, and there's all these girls doing comedy, but it feels like watching homework. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like, oh God, oh no.
it's not entertainment for you.
No,
it's work.
it's like you're taking notes and shit.
Yeah.
So I see you on This Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm like, this is terrific. Oh boy, do I love this show because I'm obsessed with it. So I've
so
just,
good.
First Penis I Saw is my literal favorite song of all time. I did a ballroom dance to it. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Very badly. So I just out of nowhere look you up and you're a comedian. I said, holy shit.
And we all are surprised when we find it out. shocked. We're like, weird flex.
Yeah, and I was
How
like,
did this
oh
happen?
my God. But and I'm not one to ever ask for things. I have very big problem asking for help. I do everything myself. But I was like, I just have to tell her she's so fucking funny and I love her on that show. And then you were so nice to say, oh my God, I'm a fan, whether you're lying or not. That's fine.
I couldn't believe that you had messaged me. I was like, is this like a scam?
I was shocked too, honestly. I was like, I thought I was a little more up her alley, to be honest.
I was like, I think I'm getting catfished. Like, but obviously, like, we're all such fans of yours.
Aw.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
a
Well, you want to
comedy
know
icon.
something though? I'm clearly a big talker. I mean, I'm an oversharer, so I
Love
apologize.
it.
Welcome.
We are
Well,
we love
good.
it.
Okay.
Give me a break for
I
1 week.
literally, throughout my whole career, it's 30 years and now 3 years retired, I have no perspective on if anyone knows who I am. So I will basically DM people just kind of if I love their work. Like I've been watching, of course, Obsessed with Hacks, watched it twice already, read the pilot
So
3
good.
times. And I was just like, Paul Downs probably doesn't know me or give a fuck, never heard of me probably. I'm just going to tell him I love the show and it made me cry. Oh my God, I'm a big fan of yours. I've always said to my manager, I have no perspective. Like, who am I as famous as? I go, am I more famous than Nick DiPaolo? And she's like, oh yeah. I go, am I less famous than Jeff Ross? She's like, no. And I'm like, I don't know where I never know also with millennials, because I'm kind of the world's oldest millennial because I'm woke AF.
Yeah.
I feel like who the fuck would even like me? Like I have such horrible self-esteem. So now I'm working on that. And the fact that you answered me back, I was like, yes, girl, we're friends.
You know what's going to happen to you is you're going to flatter your way back into comedy. Careful.
Please don't
you know,
make
all
me.
people want
Do I
is a
have to?
little flattering, and they will do anything
Well, what's
you
weird
want.
about comedy is like, I was asked, I think Nikki Glaser asked me last week on her podcast, like, oh my God, like, do you miss it? I'm like, oh, which part? The part about the no sleep, the travel endlessly, the no real connections with people or animals or nature. No, I don't miss a fucking thing. It's like you get to retire. It's the fucking
Yeah.
coolest thing. But you guys are doing great. You're in it.
I want to die on stage like that guy.
Tomorrow.
What
That guy died
guy?
on stage.
Oh,
Some
you
guy-
mean like you
He
want?
literally had a heart attack on stage. Everyone was laughing.
You're right. That was at a roast at the
Mm-hmm.
Friars Club in the 40s or 50s. And Georgie he just
They pulled
literally
his body
died on
up.
stage.
Yeah.
And
There's
somebody,
3 people I know of that happened to.
by the way, some guys went up and did more roast jokes about the dead body, which I think that's a
Yeah,
true comedian.
absolutely.
So, yes.
Do you
Wow.
think some of your feelings of like looking at the comedy as like a hard thing and something you don't want to do anymore, just not like aligned with your piece, has to do with the fact that you were aligned with the roasts and it was kind of a more negative?
No, because
part of it?
everybody was so positive
Right.
about, I was sort of almost grandfathered into you're allowed to do comedy like you want,
Right.
even in that well, there was no cancel culture before I
Right.
retired. Like it didn't exist yet. That
Oh,
wasn't
that's
happening.
Was that on purpose?
No. I
Did you
mean, I had
quit
the plan
first?
for 5 years. Like the story is like when my father got really sick, I noticed that not doing comedy, I was much more joyful, like even just taking care of him. So I was like,
You're like wiping
oh,
my dad's ass was more fun than performing for
like
theaters.
not even
yeah.
just the performing though. I liked
Yeah.
the performing part
Right.
because it was cute, but just the lifestyle was not
Yeah.
mine. So it was just noticing my life and how much I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
really
I'm out of
relate.
here after I saved enough money because I don't do things lightly. I made a real plan. I
Yeah.
made sure I could live,
Right.
made sure I didn't have to work. So I said, okay, this is good. It's literally how it's supposed
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
And now, Esther, which part do you relate with?
Yeah, I'm
comedy?
sorry.
Realizing you hate comedy, like
Oh no.
no,
That's
no,
your pattern, though. You do it.
That's
you
my
like it and
pattern.
hate it.
But I'm like that lifestyle of like even when I first started, like staying out till 2 a.m. at open mics and stuff, I was just like, how is this the career that I'm like
Yes.
going into? Because I love
Yes.
to like be in bed at 9. Like I don't drink. Like there are things about the stand-up comedian's lifestyle that are hella inconvenient if you're like a baby.
if you're
Well,
responsibly
Adult.
timed.
Yeah.
I don't
Well-
want to call her responsibly an adult because that's weird, but
Well, I remember years ago there was a comic who he was kosher and those the Hasidic Jews who they turn off the lights and all that
Yes.
stuff. He literally had a career as a comedian, but he could only perform like till sundown on a Friday. So you could make it
That's
work.
true.
I
That's
think
true.
so.
And
If
now
you
I'm
do
able
shows
to.
at 2 p.m.
yeah, you actually can because Doug Benson does it. He does it at 4:20. He used his podheadness to make his shows
That's amazing.
easier for him because really the truth is I would assume is he's burnt out. He smokes a lot of weed.
Sure.
He's
He's too
tired and
tired.
he's older. He probably doesn't want to like be up late. But you can use like your like brand is that you're lazy, so that's funny.
Is that really my brand that I'm
Wow,
lazy?
I did not know
Is
that.
it not? Sleepover, everything's sleeping.
I like to lay down.
Yeah, you're
You
always
do
laying.
enjoy a baggy sweatsuit
You
outfit.
like to
So
be
much.
You do
comfy.
love that.
So addicted to
Which
it.
is so funny because you little skinny girls who are so adorable, you just have the baggiest clothes. And it's just a shame.
You gotta let them
I
guess.
just got, come on, air that beaver
Wait,
out.
you know, that reminds me.
It is airing. It gets you get BV by too much tight clothes.
There is a comedian that I don't want to say his name in case this is like an inappropriate joke, but he had this joke that was girls in the Midwest, when they take their clothes off, their bodies look so much better, but girls on the coast, when they take their clothes off, their bodies look worse, because it's like, and it's actually true. Like when I lived in Illinois and I didn't know how to dress, like I dressed like shit. So
You like had things cutting in places that didn't need to cut in. or
yeah.
something?
So then
Oh,
if I
yeah.
took my clothes off, you'd be like, oh, why were you doing that?
Yeah.
But now, like if I'm like doing an event, like I can flatter myself and then it would look worse without clothes.
It's so bad. Like I hate that, it's just, with the weight struggle and the
Right.
food
Yeah.
issues and all
You
that.
handle
And
it,
I'm like,
though.
yeah, but dude, I'm like constantly working on it. It makes me so mad that I'm 60 years old and I still don't have my food shit under control. I get the weight loss surgery, lose the weight.
Okay.
Gained a little weight in COVID, literally 7 pounds.
Right.
And I don't want
It's
to
like
kill
a shame
myself.
spiral.
Dude. And it's
Yeah.
like, just like yourself the way you are. That's such an easy sentence, but I
Right.
just am like, oh, suppose it gets worse. Suppose it spirals. I gain all that weight back. Well, basically my stomach's so fucking small, I can't get anything down. So what am I worried about?
Right.
But it's literally going, I've become the sort of spokesman for this bariatric surgery.
What surgery did you get?
The sleeve, where they just basically make your stomach really small.
And
It's
it stays that way.
Yep. Well,
I'd
some
like to
people
get that
stretch
in
it
some other
out.
areas.
Some people stretch it out with eating too much, and I haven't done
Well,
that.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you think, because I always think of like weight loss surgery, that it's like an amazing thing. It's like incredible at saving
it's
people's
so
lives.
hard.
However, it's kind of like, did you read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance?
No.
Where they kind of talked about, because it's just about people that are going cross country. It's a lot of philosophy and stuff, but people that drive cross country on their motorcycles. And one guy's wife flew out to meet them. And it's just such a difference when you go through the country and you're seeing yourself get to a place rather than kind of getting there abruptly. It's like your whole identity is still around being an overweight person. And then all of a sudden you wake up and it's like, this
Well,
thing
but
has
you-
changed, but it's like, then you have to work on.
Well,
Your
I've
identity,
said
right?
on every show I do, if you don't work on that emotional stuff first, don't bother getting it.
Yeah.
So basically, I've been getting therapy since I was like 25.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, I got to work on why. The why is
Yeah.
important. The how isn't. The how is, and also it is a real adrenaline hit. When you lose 90 pounds in 9 months, it feels really great that you're going down like a size a week. But then it's like, oh, you got to stay there. And then what do
Yeah.
you do with the feelings? Because I always ate emotionally. I've never drank. I've never smoked pot. I just don't have a taste for anything. And I'm like, oh my God, what do? Oh, you have to feel them.
Yeah.
So you go to shopping.
Yes.
Because at the time it seems harmless enough because you're rich and because you're going down in sizes. So I have to.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, now what do you do? So basically the last 3 years since comedy, and also you medicate with achievement, which
Right.
never fills the hole. I mean, I don't care how many radio cities or roasts or specials you do, nothing fills the hole. And I'm like,
Dude,
fuck.
This is amazing. This is great. Please keep going because I'm like, where's the, I'm
There is
I need
no
this.
solution.
Oh, good.
Kill yourself.
Esther, you're all messed up.
Yeah.
What helps you?
BetterHelp. Legitimately. What helps you?
BetterHelp.
Yeah, thank God. You guys, BetterHelp is not a crisis line and it's not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online, where you can send a message to your counselor anytime and get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, all without ever having to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. And this service is available for clients worldwide. And they have licensed professional counselors who are specialized in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem. And anything you share is, of course, confidential. And we want you to start living a happier life today. And as a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/Trash Tuesday. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Trash Tuesday. You know that feeling when you stumble upon a piece of clothing that is just like so perfect for you? You didn't even know you needed it, but now that you have it, you feel like you can never live without it.
Yep.
That is how I feel when I use Stitch Fix Freestyle. Stitch Fix is here because your style isn't one size fits all. It's about what suits your body, what suits the moment. So why not shop at a store that's personalized to your style and size?
Yeah, and then you get the people can do it for you.
We're introducing Stitch Fix Freestyle, which is a shop built just for you.
Stitch Fix Freestyle is your trusted style destination where you can discover and instantly buy curated items based on your style, likes, and lifestyle.
Whether you're looking for a brand you love or to try a new one, at Stitch Fix Freestyle, you can shop a range of over 1,000 brands personalized to your size and fit.
With styles for workouts to workwear, for lounging around the house, and for a night out on the town. Stitch Fix Freestyle has clothes for any occasion.
Plus, there's no subscription required, and they offer free shipping, returns, and exchanges. You guys can get started today by filling out your style quiz at stitchfix.com/Tuesday.
It's the only quiz I've taken in the past 20 years, and I loved it.
That's stitchfix.com/Tuesday to try Stitch Fix Freestyle. stitchfix.com/Tuesday.
No, you know what it is? I am literally, okay, so I'm talking to a life coach last week, and I'm saying to her, because I've been working on this so much, I go, dude, and I was in a moment of despair, which we all go through, and I'm smart enough to just cry it out. I'm like, you know what? You can't stuff the feelings. You have nothing
Right, you
to
got to
stuff
go
it
through
with.
it. You have to go through it. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm crying, and I go, I just don't know. I have nothing that fills the hole. And and she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry you feel that way. And out of nowhere, I don't even want to cry. But like my 2 little rescue dogs start barking like crazy, run to the door. I think somebody's out there. No one is. And she goes, I think you just heard a couple things that they made their voices known. They fill the hole partially. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I found that like the little hobbies I have in retirement, like the podcast I'm doing or the writing sessions with these 2 comics that I help, my 2 dogs, my friends, my family, I'm like, it's starting to kind of fill up one corner of that hole. But damn, you got to really cobble together a life that connects with people, nature, something.
Oh
Right. But it's also like being
It's
grateful
ridiculous.
for the things that you have, like noticing that you did have all of those things around you. And especially when you have this huge hole of this. I mean, even if you're connecting or not connecting on stage, it's a huge, like it's a lot of people, it's a lot of things. And then to go to like a quiet space, your brain's got to start really going.
Well, the fact is they say that, I had obviously retired publicly on Stern because I was like, that's where people are going to pay attention and take me seriously and leave me alone. And Dr. Drew had heard it and he asked me to come on his show. And I said to him, you know what? I don't even think I was ever a comedian. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I think I just wanted to connect and I didn't know how other than that. And he goes, I bet there's so many comics that applies to. And I'm like, I was just trying to find people to connect to. And why not lock a bunch of people in a room and make them listen? So
wow. Well, I really relate to what you're saying about like having to like build a fulfilling life around you, and like that includes all these different like levels of things. Because last year I really had like this mental breakdown where I was like, oh my God, I like achieved my goals and like I don't feel any different and I'm not fixed and my problems haven't gone away. And I ended up starting, I take Lexapro because like that's been a game changer for my anxiety. But that's also why like I started my clothing line, because I don't even really make money off of it. But it's like when I'm so stressed out about other things, I just go to that and it's a hobby. Like I never had a hobby before.
Me too.
I never.
Dude, you want to know the word hobby? Okay, this is ridiculous. Okay. When you're a comic and you're that motivated, and of course I was just like all in, it's like all I could think about.
Yes.
I didn't even read the paper. Like I just fucking did comedy. Like that's what it was.
Live
What's
it, breathe
next?
it.
What's
That's
next?
your
What's
life.
next? It's so stupid to have every hobby. That's stupid. Well, so you retire and you're like, I don't knit. I don't do what looks like a hobby. So what Easter of this year, I'm bemoaning the fact that I don't have hobbies. And my niece, like out of nowhere, just goes, you have hobbies. I'm like, no, I don't. I've got basically nothing. And she's like, okay, so you meet with your friends and write, you're developing this, you're doing this podcast, you have the dogs, you have this. And she names like 10 other things. And I'm like, oh my God, I do have hobbies, but they just don't look like anybody's. So you think, especially my age, like, oh, it's so different and weird, but I have to accept that this is what kind of brings me a little joy and
Yeah.
peace.
What is the definition of a hobby? Can you look that up? Because I'm wondering, like, because I've been trying to look at like comedy as my hobby and money as like an energy exchange that has nothing to do with.
Right.
So I just only do jokes I like. I only do clubs I like. I
good.
only like. I just choose what I want to do. I don't like if I have to cancel a show because of something else. I try not to cancel, but you know, like I just like put my whatever I want first. What is it?
An activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure.
And like I've been thinking a lot about like work. I thought about this. Some girl DM'd me and I just had a second and I wrote her back. But
It also means a small horse or a pony. Is
Oh, maybe
that
I
mean-
can
That's
get
what her name is,
ponies. Hobby horse.
oh, she's my hobby. I ride her. But
So some girl DM'd you.
some
and
girl
you were-
DM'd me and asked me, she was like, because I had said in some podcast, she's like, you had said something about someone had told me, one of my professors said something about when you half-ass something, even if you have to half-ass something, do it anyway.
Yes.
And what she was referring to was I had a professor had told me, even if you're late, just show up to class. But then I would show up with like 5 minutes left. Like I really worked that rule. But what she said kind of like triggered this thought in my head where I was like, you know, it's really her perception what half-ass is. And I do this too. And it's like, I'll get paralyzed, not get work done, not do the things that will lead me to my goals because I'm worried about doing it perfect, doing it at like the, you know, like at this level, I've never even seen anyone work at. It doesn't even exist. I've never worked there. So then I'm like holding myself to this perfect thing. And instead just look at it like half-ass is the full ass and then just happily do a little bit of whatever I need to do.
Well, because
when I wanna do
half-assed
it.
to you, because I can already tell, because same as me, half-assed, I always said half my effort is worth two other people's full effort. So we're just badasses. I'm so fucking Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai. I'm like, that's how I'm all in all the time. And that was how comedy was.
Right.
Now what I do is I'm like, okay, the end product really, if you said to me right now, because this came up at lunch just now, somebody goes, what do you want? I go, and literally I didn't have to think. It just fell out and I was shocked. I just go, peace. I'm like, holy shit. So if I look at everything in my book, which by the way, I love the fact that it's almost empty. I'm so the opposite of Joan Rivers. I worked my way out of that. Where I look at it and I go, oh my God, does this bring me peace?
Yeah, it's like you're Marie
peace.
Kondo or however you say it. Your life. Like,
Yeah.
did you do her? Like,
No,
do
I
you know
don't
what I'm
believe in
talking
her because I don't think you should get rid of everything. I follow the minimalist rule, which I
Right.
just did their podcast yesterday. It's spectacular. And it's this thing about if you want your life to be better, you don't add to it, you subtract from it.
Right.
So basically, subtracting the wrong husband, the wrong career comedy for me at that time. Subtracting the wrong friends. That's why the pandemic was a little bit good for me in the way of that.
Oh, didn't it help that?
It decluttered friendships.
Yes.
So I go, wow, every time I've tried to add more, it doesn't work, but subtracting works. And then the right stuff appears.
Well, because then also you just have the things that you love around you, you know, so
Yeah.
it's like you're just only seeing things that motivate you and make you feel good.
Yeah, and have the people around that. I notice now in my life, nobody needs me more than I need them. Because I was always the one who helped and fixed and paid for everything and was like, well, I make the most in the room, so I have to pay for the dinner. That's like not making them feel any better.
It's enabling them to not make money and to not do their
it's
own,
not good. So I was trying to help them, but really what they needed to do was heal themselves. So helping and healing is two different things. That's their job. But even now I'm like, wow, this is really good but it keeps me in check now. I'll let it go. I'll make mistakes and then I'll go pull it back, ask what you need for help. Don't help too much because that's their journey.
Right.
So it's all in it. I love where I'm at now, but it has to get better. Like it just has to keep getting better.
Yeah.
I can't let myself slide.
And it's work. It sounds like that's what I always thought, like, race to be finished with something and then you'll have peace. Like I thought like do this, and then everything will be good. But it's actually like the journey, the work, like there is no like finish line where you rest. Everything in your life takes work and that's like a part of the good life or whatever.
Right.
Like that realization is been very hard for me.
But if you
Sure.
only do the things that you like, right? If you only like choose things that are like aligned with what you really, really like, then it's like it doesn't
It's not
necessarily have to
work.
be work. I have a friend my friend Hannah Fidel wrote all these movies. She's got like a deal with FX. She had a show called A Teacher on FX. She's like, so she's always writing something. And I asked her once, I was like, how do you write? Like, how do you sit down and write? She's like, I love it. I was like, oh, yikes.
What, dude, that resonates big time because I'll tell you something. In the past few years, people that on the podcast or TV or whatever will go to me, what do you miss about comedy? And I literally can't think of anything except I remember when I started in Connecticut. I said, I'm not going to be seen in a city until I'm good. Then that's probably why it took off because I was never looked at as an open micer in New York or LA. So I remember being in Connecticut and we would all go to the diner after the open mic and like trade jokes and have fun with it. And I'm like, oh my God, when I look at my life now, I'm like, oh my God, I just recreated the one part of comedy that I loved, which was sitting around writing jokes, having fun with these guys.
And that's what you do on your podcast.
No, we actually go really deep.
Yeah.
What we do is I help them with their comedy. But what we do on the podcast is I noticed these two guys, the podcast called Losers with a Dream. And what happened was I noticed they're straight guys who are millennial age, but they're not bro-y. They like literally are masculine, but talk about such deep shit that I was like, this is a podcast, guys. And of course I shoehorn my way on. So I'm like, oh my God, this is the thing. You have to put vulnerability with humor into straight guy spaces. So they start doing it. And I'm telling you, I'm not even kidding. Like I have to smile right now. Every time we do a podcast, I'm so happy. It's
That's
so
great.
much fun. I make them go deep. The issues are really hard to talk about. It's like acceptance, vulnerability, fear of success, alcoholism, like dying. We did a fucking dying podcast because one of their moms died when he was 6 and the other ones had many friends die through alcoholism and things. And I'm like, why am
like comics?
No, right, exactly. And then I go on and of course I make fun of them a little bit because I have to. That's my brand and I enjoy doing that and they love me. And then I like kind of coach them. And I'm like, dude, how am I going home smiling at 60 years old, having millennial guys in my life who are actually vulnerable?
Are they hot?
A miracle. They're cute. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
maybe that's a part of it.
How did you?
No,
like,
not for me, not for me. Right now, it just feels so weird that every time I drive home, now, honestly, this is what intentional living, as you know, you're saying. You look in your book, every time you drive home, you go, oh my God, why am I smiling? With comedy, I God bless it. I love the stage, not much anymore, but boy, going to the hotel, going to the fucking airport, I would notice every Thursday, I would start to get really bummed because I'd have to pack. And I'd be like, oh my God. So you just start noticing this life is not for me anymore, but it worked out how it should.
Yeah, and how did you find these two guys? That you-
Oh my God, this was random as F, which shows why I sometimes have to say yes to things because I'm a big, you know how they say improvers are great because they're yes ands? I've been a no but since the day I was born.
Yeah.
I if you ask me today, let's go mountain climbing, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Like I don't even have a mild reaction where I go, oh no, thank you. I go, you're a fucking asshole because I hate everything.
I just say yes and then get mad at them for asking. I'm like, why the fuck did you put me in this position?
That seems appropriate.
Yeah.
So what happened was my niece, Emily, my sister's daughter, she said to me, she works at Indeed. And she said to me one day, she goes, you know, I have a friend at Indeed and he's trying to try comedy. He's doing a show. Can you come and give him notes? And of course I'm loaded for bear because I'm like, I know this guy's going to suck. Like, I mean, so I do anything my nieces and nephews ask. I'm a big pussy. I like to caretake. So we go to dinner and I say to him at dinner, I said, Bo, listen, man, guaranteed you're going to suck. Guaranteed I won't have anything nice to say, but I'm just telling you in advance, I tell it like it is. He said, no problem. I see him do the comedy. This is like 2 years ago. I'm like, oh, he doesn't suck. He's a beginner, but an ex-boyfriend of mine once said, every open micer has one joke worth stealing. And this guy had a few. So then I say, oh, let's have a writing meeting. You're actually pretty good. Then he introduces me to this guy, Nick Scopoletti. And that's when I noticed they're both funny and vulnerable, which to me, I don't know if you guys date and stuff, but like fucking guys in their 30s when I was growing up, they didn't talk deep shit.
That's why you got to date guys in their 20s.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going back to the teens.
They are better. I'm not to the teens, but I mean, they're like, they were raised better for some reason.
They had some feelings. And I've noticed this in my nephews too, which I love. That they literally, my mom passed away a few months ago.
I'm sorry.
And thank you. And I noticed they actually teared up and cried and talked about their feelings and wanted to plant trees for grandma and stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, this generation, I call myself the world's oldest millennial. because I do not relate to 60-year-old bitches.
Yeah.
Everyone in my age group is worried about their taxes. Fuck you.
Yeah.
How about Black Lives Matter? How about putting people to work? How about fucking not being a douchebag who worries about your houses?
But how about putting the tax guys to work?
I agree.
They're helping them.
I agree.
They are helping some people.
I'm wrong. No, but isn't it interesting to not identify with your age group?
Yeah.
And I don't try to make myself look younger. I don't have facial surgery. I don't like it for me.
No, you're killing it. You look amazing.
It's
better to not.
You are so like I do feel like you're a peer of mine. Like I just feel like we could sit and talk forever. Like I feel like we have so much in common. And
She said she mastered comedy.
oh, that's true. Actually, I shouldn't say that.
No, you're ready. You're ready.
But so the podcast is called
reach your goals.
Losers with a Dream.
And
I love that name.
I'll tell you what that's from. What was really, as you know, I did all the roasts and things on Comedy Central. So what happened was, I remember when we were sitting around trying to figure out, because as you know, a title for a podcast book special is the hardest thing.
We have our own drama.
I'm sure.
We have episodes dedicated.
Yes. So you understand, it's hard.
Yes.
So we're sitting around and I'm like, well, what's this about? Like, you guys suck at almost everything. I'm terrific.
Right.
I said, so what is this? And then I remembered at the roast, I don't know if you ever noticed, but I would hit the whole day as first. I'd make fun of everybody on there. And then I'd go, but enough about these losers with a dream. Let's talk about Pam Anderson. So I'd like wrap it up, or enough about these wastes of skin. Let's talk about. So I said, you can have this. It's a line from mine, but it really does describe, and I have to admit, even me too, because we're all kind of losers because we're trying to make it work. We're trying to figure out life. And I'm in despair just as much as they are at my age. And I'm like, but we do have this dream, and theirs is to become famous, to get married, to have children, which I love that men talk about that. But mine is definitely that I'm trying to have a peaceful life. And it's fucking hard. Like when you remove so much shit, you got to sit with the empty. And that's the hard part.
Wow, that is so cool. I love that name so much. I like who doesn't relate to that? It's so
right.
I'm curious, like your opinion, because what is your opinion of like comedy today, or if you like, or just cancel culture and like stuff? Even though some people say there's no such thing, whatever. Like, what do you think of all the things that you see happening?
Because I've been very public about saying if I've hurt anyone's feelings, like they literally just have to ask me and I will apologize, because I don't think there's any badge of honor in dying on your sword of like, no, I'm a comic, I could say anything and you have to fucking get my attention.
I totally agree.
In the old days, intention used to be okay for Rickles, for me, for Jeff Ross. The audience was so multiracial because we had that love for the people we were making fun of, and multisexual, any sexuality, whatever. Now it's not like that anymore. So my feeling is, I don't know, this is a random number, but if you've tweeted something in the last 7 to 10 years when you should know better, that you shouldn't say the N-word, or you shouldn't like say gay jokes or whatever, you could apologize. It'd be nice of you. Yes, you shouldn't be canceled and your apology should be sincere.
Yeah.
But I hate when comics are like, no, man, it's my fucking art form. Okay, good. Die, asshole. And then you have to come back in the next life and you be that guy.
It seems like such a defense mechanism to be like that. Like, do you really need to do that type of comedy more? It's like, did you not like, it's like, do you have to, what is the gain here? You're hurting people. Isn't like, I like to make people happy. I really enjoy I love doing stand-up because I do like connecting and I like the exchange of energy and stuff. But it's like, I definitely used to feel more like fear of being canceled. I think when you have fear of being canceled, you almost like create that for yourself. And it's like being a victim of some like thing that it's just people on the internet, Well, I agree. And I think what's funny is like, I didn't know what cancel culture was. And then I quit comedy. And then a couple of years later it happens. And I'm like, oh, I just don't think I would be able to look in a mirror if I did some of the same type of jokes.
Yeah.
Which is fine because I'm my only judge. Like whatever anybody else says, that's fine. I'm probably canceled. I don't care. The fact is, do I want to die on that sword? No, I want to be like the kind of guy. Well, I'll tell you a story. One of my last few shows, I hadn't announced the retirement yet. I'm doing jokes and I hit everybody in the audience. So there's an old guy. I'm doing all my old guy jokes about it. He is dying laughing. And I always loved seeing people over 70 at the show because I'm like, oh my God, because I'm going to be 70. I want to hear dirty
I might
shit.
actually kill you. You might actually die.
That'd make me headlines, by the way. I could have been so much more famous.
I'm obsessed with cereal. We had to stop eating it because it's filled with sugar and junk and bullshit, and it's not good for you. It was a scam.
And you're supposed to grow up.
Well, yeah, this is grown up cereal.
This is allowing you to bridge the gap between growing the F up and staying a kid.
We're talking about Magic Spoon with 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Only 140 calories a serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb.
And build your own box. The available flavors to build your own custom bundle are cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and maple. Waffles rule.
Also, you guys, we're so excited because they brought back cookies and cream and maple waffle permanently. Those flavors used to be limited edition, and now they're there all the time. Makes me feel safe. I sleep safer at night knowing that.
She sleeps later at night and wakes up in the middle of the night to eat it.
Yes. You guys can go to magicspoon.com/Tuesday to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code Tuesday at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is obviously so confident in their product. It's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked.
We'll ask some questions though. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Tuesday and use the code Tuesday to save $5 off.
Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. You know what I love is Nutrafol.
Oh.
Dude, how much have we been loving Nutrafol?
Look how long my hair got.
I do know that your hair is generally healthier and better because of it.
Yeah. My nails too.
30 million women are impacted by weakened or thinning hair. And if you're among them, you're not alone, okay? Because you got your Trash Tuesday slugs and we're here. And there's a solution that you can trust that will actually deliver results. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after 6 months. More than 1,500 top doctors recommend Nutrafol as an effective and high-quality solution for healthier hair. We love it. I know I can speak for all the slugs on the stage today. We all use it, and also our lovers use it. So it's for everybody. And you guys can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com/trash to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time.
And plus, it's free shipping with every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com/trash.
But then I did a joke, which I'll never obviously do again. And it was about, some kind of special needs thing. And everybody laughed, but I saw the guy's face just change a little. And you know, when you're doing insult comedy, you got to
And you realized he really
aware.
was special needs, and you went, oh,
no. I wish. That would have been a way better story. No, but I noticed a shift, and I just, you kind of shut down. And, at that time I was working on myself so much. And I just go, sir, are you okay? And he goes, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I go, listen, I like you. I want to meet you, because I really wanted to talk to him about it, because I sensed I hurt his feelings. So I said, come back with your wife. And he tells me backstage that this is before it was popular to adopt, special needs kids, anything. He's like, it's just a few years ago, or when we were really young, we adopted some special needs kids. And that kind of hit me the wrong way. And I, of course, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he starts crying, and I start crying, and we hug. Now that's connecting. So I got no problem apologizing to an individual, because first of all, he was a gentleman. He didn't yell out. He didn't storm out. And he didn't be a little bitch.
Yeah, he was just honest with you.
The ones who fucking yell at you, you don't get an apology.
Yeah.
I know.
And also, you don't apologize to a group. If it's an individual, yes. But if on behalf of all gay people, a straight guy wants an apology, they can suck my hairy clam.
Now, okay.
And believe me, it's hairy, because I'm 60.
So listen, I'm 38 and on the same page. But I watch Survivor. Do you watch the show Survivor?
No, but I heard tell about it.
Okay. I love the show Survivor. And this season, Jeff Probst, the host.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
There's a like a butch lesbian on it, young lesbian girl she's probably like 22. Maybe she's, she does something she has a very incredible either job, or she's studying to do something like very impressive. And then like really smart girl. And then there's a man who is married to a trans woman who just had a baby. So like a trans man who just had a baby. So he's married to a
A woman.
So,
a woman at this
well,
for all
right.
intents
So
and
now,
purposes,
but now looks like a man.
Right.
Or now has had the surgery,
Okay.
but gave birth to a kid. So, but he, I guess now, I don't know if that makes him gay or straight. I don't really understand what it is, but not my problem. Not a part of the story. So Jeff Probst the first, when he says, come on guys, welcome in. And then he says to everyone, he goes, oh wait, you know what? Every single season of this show, I've said, hey guys, and now I want to ask, is it okay to refer to you all as guys? Now I want to die when I hear that because I'm like, all right, let's not waste time on our packaging.
A little far. Yeah.
Have we not risen above? Okay. But whatever, he's asking. And the lesbian girl speaks up and she goes, I actually am really fine with it. I actually like being called a guy. Like, I think it's fine. I don't take it as like a gender thing as much as just a kind of group thing. Then the next episode or the end of the episode, they're meeting up again a couple of days later. And the man who's married to the trans man says, I was thinking about it and I think I was too tired to do my part. I want to say that it's not okay.
What?
But he's not trans. So it's like he's speaking for,
That's
he's
a
in the
great
world,
point.
but he's in the world of trans, so I understand it. But it's kind of like the girl, and I mean, I guess, I don't know if Jeff was asking her specifically, but she was the one that kind of stood up, and it's more her experience with the gender
Right, I
exchange.
get that.
So it was kind of like, all right, dude, so now you're bringing it back up, and now Jeff's like, all right, I'll never say guys again. And I'm like,
But what I always resented, and I'm sure you'll identify with this, is when I would get, because back in the day we didn't have Twitter or anything, it didn't exist. And they would write like, I'm so offended at this joke, that joke, this joke. You shouldn't shit on the Black community, even though I had huge amounts of interracial couples, all that. And it would always be from a white person. And honestly, that's a way of keeping someone else down, a way of keeping someone a victim, a way of saying this group is too weak to fight for themselves. It needs me, the white savior. And I'm like, no white saviors here, bitch. So I'd never answer those. I was just like, delete. So yeah, it's interesting, like who we feel we have to stick up for.
I always say I do make fun. I used to be a special ed teacher, and I worked at Easter seals and stuff, and I try to make fun of everyone, like,
of course,
equally. And I think it's like including them. It's like obviously how you feel probably during the roast and stuff. It's
Certainly.
like you want to include everyone if they're in wheelchairs or anything, make jokes, like, because it's almost like the absence of that is saying like, oh no, we have to treat you precious. Like, it's not like treating them equally.
Well, dude, here's the deal. What is the biggest prejudice of all? Leaving someone out.
Yeah.
So if Lisa Lampanelli makes fun of everyone, you expect to be made fun of.
Right.
So I just think feeling pity for someone is the worst.
Right.
Yeah,
no one wants to be
that.
pitied.
Right.
Yes, we want empathy, compassion. No one wants pity. So I remember, so all bets were always off with me. I loved when deaf people would come because they always had deaf interpreters and it was fun to make them say cunt in sign language.
Yeah.
So
What was it like?
it's this. I'll show you. I was taught it by deaf people.
Oh my God. It
That's
gets
a little
tickled?
clit.
Why
It's
do
a
they have to
little
molest it?
I know. Well, it's a clit,
I'm
basically.
triggered. I'm
Sexual.
triggered, community.
Well, you know how that even occurred that I know this? First of all, let me tell you the handicap story. I remember doing New Year's Eve down in Atlantic City, and this gay guy was in the audience. He told me he was gay when I was asking, and he had half an arm. So of course, come on. I mean, not going to say he lost it up somebody's ass.
Of course.
I mean, come on. It's low hanging fruits.
It would be rude to not say it.
Right. So everyone could always take a joke from me. I found that the people who were uncomfortable were the ones who feel they have to caretake others.
No, I was saying it's always the best to have. The best audience is a person with a disability that's had to deal with it. They're so over that. They're above that sort of thing. And the worst audience is the table next to them that's never met them.
150%.
Worst audience.
And they just don't get it. Those are the ones you get the notes from. Those are the ones you have to ignore. But boy, this it's the kind of world in which you have to not be careful, but you have to just go, you know what? I can look in the mirror at the end of the night. This horrified me. Once, I've only been protested 3 times. Twice was by the Westboro Baptist Church because I had a gay following. And that was fine because I fucking donated money for every asshole who showed up. It was great. But then I got protested by deaf people. And it honestly did really hurt my feelings a lot. I show up at University of Rochester. I guess they didn't know I made fun of everybody. So they heard me on the radio, not the deaf people, but somebody else.
Out, yeah.
And they heard the deaf joke.
Well, you really took some liberties probably because you didn't think they'd hear, didn't you?
150%.
Let's be real, yes.
Some blind cock blocker with an
Let's
extra
be
grind told them.
real.
So what upset me was I show up there and I'm like crying because I'm like, I'm being protested by one group and they don't know I make fun of everybody. So I invited all the protesters into the show. And at the end, they came up to me and apologized. And they were like,
Did their sorry look like this?
They literally said to me, they go, we're really sorry. We saw through your show. You make fun of everybody. We overreacted. And I said, as your punishment, or no, as your payment to me, you have to teach me the deaf symbol for cunt. And that's how I learned it.
great.
So I think it's once you sit down and talk to somebody,
Yeah.
once you freaking hear their story,
Yeah.
like that's why I don't mind an apology. And it's just, Nikki Glaser was on Bill Maher a few weeks ago and she said she believes the same thing. She'll apologize to an individual. And he was like, no, you shouldn't. And this and that. And he's allowed his opinion. That's great. But I think we are a little more open to doing that now. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that.
Right.
You
Well, it's
know?
whatever you want to. It's
Bobby?
like there's no like one telling us whether we can do it.
Bobby!
Hello, do you have something to apologize for?
Oh, hey!
Bobby,
oh my
do you have anything to
God,
say?
hi. Bobby, would you like to say you're sorry for how you've treated me so badly?
I know. You guys must have had beef at some point.
No, we didn't. And you know what's funny about Bobby? Everything.
That he's Asian?
I did not know I was going to your house, and I was so happy. I was like, "This is fancy!
know.
Oh my God, yeah!"
Tell him more.
I like your Katie Lang white hair.
Thank you. No. It's the blue.
Oh,
A
it is
Smurf blue. It's loaded in
How
my
are you?
hair. I'm so good. How are
Do
you?
you live here or out in New York?
No, I'm in Connecticut.
She lives.
I'm
She
fancy.
lives. She moved back into her
my childhood home.
You did?
Yeah,
That's such a baller
yeah.
move to buy your family
It was
home.
so cute. It's because it's very sweet.
You look great.
Oh, thank you, man.
Honestly.
No,
She
I
is
appreciate
Why?
great.
You should take some
She's-
fucking pointers from her,
Yeah,
you fatso.
she's got her life figured out.
He looks cute.
You freaky Friday.
Oh my
You used to be the skinny boy.
You know, it's so fucking funny, bitch. I came in here, right? And I was like, I'm not going to attack Andy Letterman today, right? I'm going to be
I
the
just
nice person.
come for.
And
I'm
you fucking gonna back up
I'm
the
happy with who I am. Come at me. You can't hurt me.
Me and Esther are tiptoeing out of the
What are
room.
you gonna get me
like,
on?
ding, 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 ding.
Go. I'm here.
No.
I can only make fun of you of assumptions I have of you, and I've never seen the thing.
The thing.
Yeah, what's what they call her vagina.
Oh,
The
God.
thing.
I call mine closed for business. It is so horrifying. Do you know I have been celibate by choice and probably not by choice since I've been I got married. Right after I got married, I became celibate. So I think it's been 12 years.
Are
And
you
I
still
am-
married?
Oh, no.
You
I had a
divorced the
divorce.
guy
Yeah,
who
but
was
he's
the-
a great guy. We're still friends. I fixed
I
him
like
up
him
with his
from
new
Gotham.
wife, Jimmy Big Balls.
Yeah, he's cool.
And what's so funny about being celibate, dude, you guys will see someday maybe. I don't know. If it's your part of your journey, there is nothing better than not fucking waking up to a UTI, not having some fucking jerk there. And
You gotta let them wash their dick. You know, they have to wash their dick a little.
No. You're supposed to piss before and after. I get these UTIs. I haven't had one in 12 years.
You need a bedpan.
Well, you know what else I love not having is a pinched nerve in my neck, because every Valentine's Day, a pinched nerve in my neck and a UTI. Get the fuck
How do you get that
outta
from?
here.
How do you get that from anal?
What's weird? I wish I'd experimented with the anal when I had the chance.
No, this is
But
your
you know,
time.
it's never too late.
This is your time.
Kind of.
They sew it up.
Oh,
at
by the
60.
way, Bobby, I just got, speaking of buttholes, I did not mean to bring this up
That's
on the air.
fine. We're happy.
I recently had a colonoscopy because I turned 60. I'd had one at 50. They show you pictures now of your asshole. Dude, mine is fucking awesome.
That's a huge deal.
It's beautiful.
Mine's in blackface.
It's beautiful.
Compared to whose?
I don't know. I thought I never saw another one, but
It's
I
the
think mine is
inside
very
of it,
nice.
though? Like,
yeah,
it's like-
dude, all the way the fuck
Does it
up.
look like the Magic School Bus? What was that when the Magic School Bus was inside the body?
It just literally looks like how you would imagine the most pristine asshole in the world looks like.
Because she didn't.
That's
It's
me.
it's unfucked with. But
It's
from
un-
the eating days, you didn't have hemorrhoids.
No, I got one. Oh my God. After weight loss surgery, it's very hard to poop and you have to be patient, but I'm not a patient person. So I'm sitting there trying to squeeze it out. I mean, no offense, but I was like grabbing the handicap bars and just pushing and pushing. So this thing pops out. I've never had one before that.
Yeah.
It looked like a fucking Louisville slugger poking out of my asshole.
Yeah.
It looked like a fucking speed bag at a boxing gym. And I'm like, this is, yeah.
Esther's
Yeah.
horny.
Ew. It was so
Esther's triggered
gross.
because she has actually a hemorrhoid that was lost her owner.
I don't know how it disappeared either, Bob, because I didn't get it cut out. I don't know what happened to it.
Sometimes they suck back in.
I think that's what
I also
happened.
just came here to say hi. I don't know what the fuck is going
Yeah,
on.
this
Let's
poor
see.
guy.
Yeah,
We're talking about assholes.
I like
and-
you in George's spot. You have like a hat that looks like his hair.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Lise, good to see you.
Bobby, can I just be, I mean, we've been sincere
go ahead.
this whole time. We really have. But I'm so happy for your success. Because I remember when we were doing comedy here.
Yeah.
You
I
sucked.
was always
You were
like,
so
no, he was
unfunny.
really good. And I always thought, Jesus Christ, he needs more parts on TV. He needs more of this.
I say less. I
And
think they're overdoing. They're blowing his head up.
I'm
Look
being
at him.
sincere. No, but you honestly, every time I see someone who I thought was funny years ago on TV, I just cry. I'm so happy for them.
Lampanelli.
So, dude, you're fucking rocking that shit. And you
I
got
will
a
give him
hot
this. He
wife.
was on TV when I was about 2 years old. He was
know.
already on Mad
You're a
TV.
fucking piece
You've
of
been
shit.
successful this
You're
whole time. You
thinking
just
rank.
never,
It's a disgusting pussy.
you
my
never, ever.
Fucking rank. It's close for business. And let me say something too.
You don't steal my line.
Bobby, can I?
So much.
Can
I love
I?
all three of you so much.
Can I interject one last
Go
thing?
ahead.
You won't ever remember this, but do you
you won't.
remember the exact sketches sometimes that you did on Mad TV?
No.
Oh, see, that's a problem because he did one about something about like sort of a Godzilla type creature coming in.
That was my vagina. He was doing
I know
a-
that sounds like it's Asian
Like my
misappropriation,
pussy.
but
Yeah.
you're so fucking
Thank you,
funny.
bud. And I just wanted to come down here and say hello.
Get some
I didn't want to
compliments.
see these two, you know what I mean? But I wanted
Yeah.
to see you.
Aw.
When I found out you were coming over, I was really excited because we're old friends.
Yeah.
And please come around some more.
I
would
will,
love to
man.
get you on mine. This is
I heard it's terrific. My friends are my buddies on the podcast, Nick and Bo. They're obsessed with your fucking podcast.
Yeah, I would love. So when are you?
Don't steal our views, bitch.
George will
She's
handle
ours.
it.
Yeah, well,
Joe,
get George.
yeah, I'll get
you
George
have
on
me,
it.
All right.
He's the real deal, man. And you don't look fat. She's wrong.
No,
but
no, no, no.
Thank
Look
you
at
so
him.
fucking much.
Well, you don't see him.
Stop that,
Oh my
bitch!
God.
You don't see him naked. You don't see him
Yeah.
naked
Oh,
all
do
the
you
time.
see him naked?
All the
You wanna
time.
see? Steve Aoki, eat your heart out.
Oh my
Look at his
God.
nips.
All right.
Oh, they are kind of cute.
Don't you like
Bitch.
pinch his little nips?
Anyway,
I love you. He is so funny. Esther, how does it feel to be the only two sane people in this room right now? I never thought I would be the calm one.
It feels
the
scary.
sweet one.
Esther is. That's
The
who Esther
angels.
is.
I'm getting the signal for let's do a banana break.
What's
Yeah,
that?
it's when you deep throat a banana.
No.
Oh God.
Our banana
Okay.
break represents like potassium and
Yes.
like peace.
Do you know my
and
mother
take
would
a break.
always say every week, oh my God, you guys would have laughed so hard. Every week she'd leave me her shopping list. And thank God I saved one on my messages. She's like, okay, so I want 4 table talk pies. They were these little tiny pies, no cherry, just blueberry, like yelling, and 4 bananas, not too ripe. I got it, Ma. Every week, not too ripe. For 10 years, she said not too ripe. So
Oh
this is
my
for you, Ma.
Did you-
fucking big Ma.
Did you dye your hair blue to be closer to the blueberries she loved? Like, notice me, mama.
You have a very good comedy mind. I have to tell you, because that was very good. I like it when I can actually respect the people I'm on the podcast
Yeah.
with. Because trust me, I phoned a few in.
Nikki Glazer. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
We love Nikki. We
I
gotta
know.
get Nikki on this
Oh,
show.
We gotta start
Dude.
some feuds. Nikki, you're a bitch.
Oh my God.
I dare you to come back at us.
Oh my God.
We're trying to get our numbers up.
She wouldn't. She would so cry. Because
No, she wouldn't believe it.
Of course not. By the way, I always laughed. I just bumped into Rich Voss last week. He did this little club near where I live. And I was like, this Rich Voss, you know what he used to do? You know how he's so mean
yes.
off stage. He would come up to me, and this is the beauty of Rich Voss. He would come up the next day and go, hey, last night, you know I was kidding, right? So he'd always like make sure you were okay.
How do you know what that shows? That he's a little bitch and he's taking everything personally,
How
right?
dare you? No,
He's
you're
like-
right, though. You're right. And I
means
love that.
He's like, but that is cute. He's
Well,
just
because
going
none
home
of
and
the other guys,
dominating.
I had such a hard time with all the guys coming up, and they were always really mean, and I hated it. And I was just like, why can't you keep your comedy to the stage? Why be mean off stage? Like, I'm such
Oh
a
my God,
fucking.
Esther would die if people weren't mean off stage. She feeds her.
I know.
Oh, God.
I love being roasted, teased, made fun of. That's
It's
like
really
my love
her heart.
language.
Let's put it this way. I admire that quality. I will say that I have said publicly after retirement, I literally could not take a joke. I had the thinnest
Really?
skin, not on the roast, those were fine, but off stage. And I was like, Lisa, you were an insult comic who couldn't take a joke. That's like being a pedophile who can't stand children's parties.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. It's like
Can't
being
take a child's dick.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
There's nowhere for you
it's
in
like
society.
being a porn
It's
star
like being
who's
a-
allergic to
A
semen.
pedophile that doesn't like small dicks.
Yeah,
You know? It's
I
like,
mean, so I just go. It's interesting though. I really always had a thin skin when we were just sitting around at the table, so I would just bring a book and read.
Well, I'm curious.
that is such a move to
It
bring a
has to
book
be.
and read. But I have problems with when you go on the road.
Oh, what book do you have?
I'll just start reading.
Oh my God.
I'll read
Esther.
my book.
What
on the
is it?
podcast.
Let me hypnotize you. You don't
War
need this
of
book.
Art.
Oh, I have
It's
that.
so
I
good.
sold it.
I bought
I'm
it.
just kidding. Yeah, she bought my secondhand
I have a
copy.
She goes, I quit comedy. She sold all her comedy books.
I have a question. When you did the roasts, because I have heard from other people who've done the roasts that like, just I've not people that I know personally, but I've heard like through the grapevine, like some people have been like left really affected in a bad way. And I'm just curious if you ever had that experience, if it ever bothered you or was whatever.
Well, this is how I'm smart. I wanted to always appear like on camera as much as possible. Because, I started comedy late. I was 30.
Is that why you were fat? You wanted to be the most on camera you could be?
I know, really. Eat your way to the top. So I'm sitting there and I always knew, because there's a teleprompter,
Right.
and you always saw your name being used, but you didn't read the joke. So I'm like, okay, get ready to look like it's funny, even if it sucks. So I would always sit up, you sit at the edge of the chair and you just like, oh my God. So I would always get these emails like, oh my God, you take it as good as you give it. So I always knew how to
That
look
was
like
on
the best
Pornhub.
sport in the world. So I'm sitting there and somebody asked me, do any jokes hurt your feelings? And legitimately, honestly, it's roast, so probably not. The few times it hurt was when it was lazy. So if a joke is like just a random fucking whore, fat, whatever, insert woman insult type here, I'd be like, geez, I'm not even worth that. Like, it really would be just like,
it's
come
like
on, man,
rude.
try.
Yeah.
be creative for me.
But if somebody writes a good joke about me, I am so fucking happy. Like, Artie Lang had the best joke about me. I put it in my book. I was like, I don't even care. I love this so much. We were doing Shatner, I think Shatner's roast. And Artie was at his most fattest, poor thing, with the gray skin. And he goes up and he goes, if I had a nickel for every time somebody said, hey, aren't you Lisa Lampanelli? I loved it. So I said to myself, well, maybe I don't have thin skin. I just like people to make an effort.
Yeah.
So it just felt insulting if you just throw a fat joke or an old joke or an ugly joke your way.
100%.
Yeah.
I
It's
totally
dumb. I
agree.
didn't do that.
Yeah.
I literally would take 2 months to write a good roast because I had to usually go last because they were all bitches and wouldn't follow me.
It's better to go last.
No, it's the worst because
No,
you have
but
to
I still think
overwrite.
it is because you can
The
kill.
best spot first because you get it all out of the
But
way.
your anger won't be there. At the
My
end.
anger was always there before I quit comedy. I literally used to be, because my mother was a rageaholic, and bless her heart,
My dad
we
too.
resolved that. Yeah, I always went to anger. And what's interesting is ever since I retired, I've noticed the anger going away slowly and coming out as sadness, which is what it actually is.
Oh,
So
that's
anytime I
beautiful.
see somebody yell, I mean, I still yell, but not that percentage. But dude, like whenever I hear a story about somebody yelling in a drive-through or whatever, I go, what pain they must be in, because I know it was all pain.
Oh yeah, no, that's the best. I feel like that's such a good way, especially with like trolls and stuff.
When I was decluttering and getting rid of 2 of my other places and just moved into my parents and my original house.
This is Esther's dream. By the
It's
way.
my dream.
the
It's
best thing
literally
ever.
she literally has a house she wants to get rid of to move into her parents' house.
Literally, like I go home whenever I
peace.
can. I'm always in the parents' basement. I want to live there one day.
Well,
as well.
yeah. And also, by the way, you just realize you need very little. Like in life, you don't need much.
Yes.
So I found, of course, I have 8,000 boxes of my comedy career. And I go, you don't need most of this. So I went through and I had printed out every script 80 times, all writing, all the drafts. So I found there was at least 7 boxes of stuff that had nothing on the other side, 8.5 by 11. So I'm like, oh, okay, just use these as printer paper. So the other week I was having a game night because I'm that chick.
I fucking love
And
it.
I love it so much. And it's with all gays and they're all under 30. It's
This
fantastic.
is how you're never gonna fuck.
I know.
You
Totally.
gotta use
Keep my
you gotta
vagina
start. I want you like
sterile.
ski. I want you skiing with those boys in your
Really
podcast.
don't want to.
This
So-
is what I want for you. I'm projecting this onto you.
Can you be a guest and do that for me? So I take the printer paper out and we're all like keeping score on these things. And my gay friend Bobby, who's half black, half white, looks at it and it's like, what? What does
my
this mean? He
God.
goes, without the Arabs, thank God for the Arabs, they keep the Jews away. Like, oh, shit. He's like, oh my God. Oh, thank you, Muslim, for letting me speak without your permission. What is this? And I go, you remember? And he goes, oh my God, this is hilarious. So literally, it's always a crapshoot. What part of my career is going to come out of the
Oh
printer?
my God.
And by the way, I know it sounds woo-woo, but I literally, when I see that stuff come out, I kind of have to revisit it and mourn it a little bit and go, oh, that was the movie that I wasn't very good in. or like it's a script, or, oh, that was the roast and that was fun, or, oh, it's a shame that didn't lead where I wanted it to, even though that was wrong for me to want something else. So it's very cool. It's very therapeutic. Yeah.
I love, like, I'm addicted to nostalgia, positive or negative. So that sounds really nice. Like, you're making me want to, like, keep everything even more. So, like, I don't know. I just love that experience.
But she's, like, releasing it, too. So it's like to keep it to then release. Because it's like, it was just sitting in these boxes doing nothing, right?
Well, then I also was wondering, what are your guys' opinion? Because I have no perspective.
We don't say guys anymore.
Oh, okay.
Survivor.
You cunts. Yeah, I'm in Survivor. By the way, speaking of Survivor, this is a horrible joke, but I remember a few years ago, remember the show The Amazing Race? Yeah. I think Jim Norton said something like, what is that, a show about white people?
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my God.
They have one too that's like the greatest race now too, where it's like, all right, guys, you're really playing with fire here.
It's a lot. What's your opinion on this? Because again, like I said, I have no perspective on if anyone knows who I am. There's a comedy museum, the Comedy Hall of Fame in Jamestown, New York. They had asked me, because that's where Lucy was born, Lucille Ball. They had asked me to do an interview with them. I was so near the end of comedy. I go, I can't. I said, I'm just so fucking exhausted. I don't want to do it.
It's like your Holocaust museum.
It's literally. I was like, I have such cute comedy memorabilia. That really doesn't mean anything more to me. It's really about my life. And just like the Radio City poster or whatever's nice, and scripts that actually were worth keeping, like I did a Simpsons. I mean, that's fucking badass.
Definitely.
Should I ask them if they want it?
Yes. Lisa, oh my God.
Why would you not ask? What's the benefit?
I always, the worst thing is they could say no, and that's not even that bad.
And then how would that would?
It would probably just lead to grief and sadness. And
if they don't want it, I will take. I literally have the chills. Like that is.
She'll take it, put it in a box, and then
put it in my parents' attic.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. Like one my favorite experiences is going to museums and seeing like other artists' work, like not their like work, but their things,
their workspace, and their work product.
Like I went to the Country Music Hall of Fame or whatever, and I saw like Casey Musgraves, like things from her childhood, and then I went to this Amy Winehouse exhibit and saw like her notebooks and stuff, and I would love nothing more than an experience for myself to go to that comedy museum one day, like hopefully soon, and to see your stuff there would actually be so inspiring and wonderful.
So what do you like the things for? Like, what does it make you feel?
It just makes me feel so connected to that person and that artist, and like, oh my God, like they're just like me. Like seeing Amy Winehouse's like her little like Chandler's, her little day planner with her little thoughts in it. I'm like, I just feel like, wow, like they're just like me and I can be like them, and like we're just all creative. And I love artifacts, memorabilia.
That's what you know what it is too? It's like, I like giving stuff to people who appreciate it. So I do declutter a lot. If it doesn't go to a family or friend who I know needs it, and it's not just giving them junk, I'll donate it. And I go, somebody will need this. I also was reading this book about, I think it's called Always Crashing the Same Car in LA. Oh. And it's this, did you hear about this book?
Triggered?
No, but it sounds like my
your
story.
History with driving. It's about people who you don't know their names as household names, but how genius they were. Cool. And this guy talks about this one director, this woman who he went to her college and looked up her artifacts. No, I'm like, why don't I give some to my college too?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
What college did you go to?
Syracuse.
Oh, cool.
So I'm like, you know what? Like but I never think of myself in the way of anyone would care.
Of course.
So you know what? Maybe I'll do that. I'll approach both. If they say no, what's the worst that can happen?
You gotta give them to Esther.
Esther, get ready for 8 boxes, bitch.
That's so funny. I can't wait till you're just like, there's boxes taller than you.
I'm so excited. No, there won't, because I'm gonna come see them at the museum.
I want to write a book. I want to write a book that's opposite of that book, where it's all people you know about and how useless they are and how little they've done.
Oh my God, useless cunts.
Wouldn't that be good?
The best. And speaking of useless cunts, I have not been, ever since the Celebrity Apprentice, I have not been able to watch reality TV at all.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Why? Is it
you
because
know
of how
the
fake?
background now, so you know how the sausage is cooked.
It's so gross. And I'm like, I hate people who are famous for nothing. And I think that's what me and Kathy Griffin have in common. Because I think she said it in her book, if I'm not mistaken, that we don't mind other people talented being successful. Like, we're never jealous of that. I fucking hate people who get rewarded for misbehaving.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting. So when I was on the fucking Apprentice with Teresa from the Housewives, the table flipping con, dude, She's so stupid. So stupid. I hoodwinked her countless times. It's a game, you dumb twat. Well, I have the best story about her. This story is so fucking great. Can I tell you?
Yes,
It's so
please.
inside. Okay. When you do The Apprentice, it's very stressful, so you eat a lot. So I didn't care because I was just fat and it doesn't matter. But those women really are attached to staying small. So one day my stylist comes in and she goes, oh my God, Lisa, everyone in the makeup room is saying Teresa is probably pregnant because her stomach is like very big. So I said, don't worry, I'll get to the fucking bottom of this shit. So I walk into the little room where we're all getting mic'd up and I text and I'm like, oh my God, Teresa's clearly pregnant because her stomach's super distended. I sent it
To Teresa.
to fucking Teresa. Do you know though? Here's why I'm smart. My mind starts going because as you hit send and you hear the
Immediate, yeah.
So 2 seconds go by and then I go, oh, I typed it because I see her look at it and she's like, and I type, Teresa, the message you just received was forwarded to you. I received that from Clay Aiken.
Oh, that's so
I said,
good.
be careful. He's on your team. Don't trust that shifty homosexual. And poor Clay never knew this. And it was so great. But you got to, I mean, that's how tired you are when you're doing the show that you'll send a bad text to this person you're talking about.
What an epic save. That
Dude.
is iconic.
And I've never been able to do a save like that since.
Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time
Dude,
to
you
do
guys
this.
are thinking badasses.
We
Like
are
so fun.
this
so
was
lucky.
so much fun. I feel so grateful. I know this was hard to schedule. Poor George. He was
Poor
just
George.
going insane.
No, we don't
But it was
care.
so
And
worth
we,
it.
We
I'm
like
so
making
happy.
his
I'm
work
so
hard.
thrilled that you guys even know my name.
All right, I have a
Thank
question.
you.
More
Lisa.
than
Yes.
that.
Do you have a price to do stand-up?
No.
There's no price in the world.
Because I have enough money to I'm not rich, but I have enough money where I don't have to work again.
Yeah.
So I always said, somebody asked me, what would it cost to get you to do a roast again?
Right.
And I said, if I got $1 million and I could give it to the Animal League of America because I love it so much, because I got my little doggies there. I'm like, I'd do it I'd be an asshole to not do
Yeah.
it.
Right,
Like
yeah.
that's a dick move.
Yeah.
If they're like, here's $1 million to your charity, then you're like, yeah. I'm like starving
Yeah.
dogs. So yeah, but I don't know. You never know what'll happen, but I can't even imagine a world that I'd want to do it again.
Yeah.
But you never know. You know what my only last dream is? Like I don't have a bucket list. I have a fuck it list because I just do everything when I want.
Yeah.
I take ballroom dancing like twice a week.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm okay, but I could be good if I tried. My dream is like at 80, I will be the oldest winner on Dancing with the Stars.
great.
Yes.
Because I'm going to get so good in 20 years. And some fucking Serbian dancer will be dragging my old twat around. They'll feel
Wow.
sorry for me. Boom, I win that mirror ball. So I'm putting it out there.
We
Oh my
We
God.
actually met one of the dancers, this guy Val, and he danced
he's
with
hot.
Esther.
He's so hot.
He's gorgeous.
I-
He danced with Esther, and there's just a video of Esther like being like twirled by him,
Spun
and
and
then her
handled.
fiance just like in the corner, like
Like,
really
what?
pissed off.
it's so funny.
It is very funny.
And since I know we have to end. I don't believe in necessarily manifesting. I just think you say what you want. It's not going to come to you, but you might as well say it. If anyone is listening, my last other dream is I need to be John Kreese's ex-wife on Cobra Kai. That is my favorite show that ever existed. I am Johnny Lawrence as a human being in female-ish form. So put me on that fucking show.
yes.
I stink
love
as an
it.
actor, but
formerly
I'll
I
fucking
bet
female,
you're
manage it.
amazing.
female form.
I don't know what I am at this
And
point.
I want to manifest both of us on Dancing with the Stars. And you can have first place.
Yes.
I'll take third. I'll be fine.
I'll go out
Yay.
first. There's no way, Nikki, I'll beat you. I'll get kicked off before they even get to the fucking
You'll
center.
quit.
They're like, my dancer quits.
Yeah.
Not me.
You have to do
Val
a solo.
Schmakovsky for the win.
I
my
wonder though if
God.
you can learn to dance if you have no rhythm.
You can.
yeah, you
for
can.
sure.
There's deaf people winning
You
that
can
shit.
absolutely
Yeah,
learn.
You know?
I know, but they can feel the ground.
Lisa,
That's true.
everyone is going to check out your podcast, Losers with a
Yes.
Dream.
Thank
and
you.
you have a book. Is there where else?
No, my huge New York Times non-bestseller, Chocolate Please. It's actually something like probably one of the biggest things I'm proud of because it's the whole story about my codependency, my rehab I went to for food and
Oh my gosh.
addiction
I
and
would
stuff.
love to read this. I have
It's
to get it.
so deep and it's really funny too. But yeah, it was a total non-bestseller, which was my first disappointment in my life, but I learned to deal with it. And also go to Lisa Lampanelli on the Instagram because I actually answer DMs if you're not hot.
Wait, did they? I feel like bestsellers are because people bought them out.
Well,
Isn't there
there
like
are
some sort
tricks.
of shady
Oh, I didn't
trick?
know
But
that.
I will tell you, this is how delusional I used to be as a comic. I would be like, I just was absolutely sure it would be on the bestseller list
Right.
because at the time I was huge and I look and I'm like, they must have misplaced it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
But I like that attitude better than you assuming it's not going to be good. Right?
Yeah, no, I really
Yeah.
was like, what's going
Why
on?
not?
It's rigged, I tell you.
It is rigged. It literally is rigged.
I
People
know
pay,
that.
they buy their own things.
Bye, everyone.
I love
Thanks
you,
for
dude.
listening.
Thank you
we
so
love
much
you,
for
Lisa
coming.
Lampanelli.
Follow Lisa.
Yay.